All right, guys, you're going to watch some footage on these two Odenwolf W mini knives, some use footage, and I'll talk about them at the end. So watch to the end. I'll go over what I think about these knives. I am a Odenwolf affiliate, so you can get these knives on the Odenwolf USA website and use my discount code CCO10, CCO, Common Sense Outdoorsman 10, and get a 10% discount on these knives. Enjoy the footage and my opinion at the end of the video. All right, guys, Common Sense Outdoorsman. I want to go over my field use of the Odenwolf W mini knives, and they have two knives and either two styles of grinds. Either you have the Saber style grind, or you have the Scandi grind. Okay, and so you saw in the footage I've done. I've worked more. I've had I cut the footage down, but I've used these knives most of the day today, and I certainly like these knives. Okay, and let me take you down a little bit. You don't need to look at my face. Great little user knives. I think overall what I find is that not really a dedicated camp knife or a dedicated bushcraft type of knife. The first thing I want to say is I did find that a couple of things. I would rather it did not have this finger groove here in the handle. I wish it was the same as the top to give me a firmer, better grip. I found that it just kind of swam in my hand a little bit. I know a lot of people do prefer those grooves. I don't. I like a fuller, larger grip, and that groove may help you to index the knife better. But that's just my personal preference. The other thing, not a full-time use camp or bushcraft knife because the handle is a little short, and I just found that because my pinky kind of made its way off the edge a little bit, and that caused the knife to move around, which kind of in harder, more power type cuts, I know it's a small knife, just a little over 2-inch blade, but not really for your normal bushcraft or harder work. I would have liked a bigger knife for that. I hope someday I'd like to see Odenwolf create a knife. It could be similar to this, but if you want to make a small neck carrying bushcrafter, give it a 3-inch blade, maybe 3.25-inch blade. Make the handle a little bit longer so you can get a full grip on it, and that would make a nice small bushcraft knife. And I would also like to see them do something with about closer to a 4-inch blade, 3.9-inch, or no bigger than 4.25-inch blade, and just make a larger dedicated bushcraft knife that has a similar. It could be a handle similar to these. No guard, no finger groove here. Just a nice big fat handle that you can get your hand on there and do bushcraft work with. Okay, so that's the first thing. So not a dedicated full use knife, an EDC knife, a this and that knife around camp if you're doing small jobs. It's fine for that. The D2 holds up well. At one time, I actually, you'll see in the footage, I struggled getting the fire starter to start my tinder pile, and that's because my tinder pile was poor. This is Arkansas. It's still humid out. I had just split this wood. It was wet on the inside, and it had to let it dry out in the sun a little bit longer. Then it finally started up. But I did make some scrapings with the edge, both on the Saber grind and the Scandi grind, and the edges hold up well. D2, I think, is great for a smaller knife. This is a great D2 done right. It's all about the heat treat and the blade geometry that makes it. I think on this one, on the Saber one, I would make that edge a little bit thinner, a little bit finer for me. Again, that's just another personal preference of mine, but the D2 holds up great. The edges held up great, no problems there. Let's look at the sheath and this clip on the sheath. Okay, so let me go down a little bit more. If you put that clip, you can see what that clip looks like on the belt. It's okay to carry it around in camp. Of course, it's going to come, it just doesn't hold. And my belt's a little wider, I think, but it just, not going to hold there. If I'm going around camp and I'm in camp and I just need it to use that way. Same thing for a pocket, okay? If it's there or it's there, I can carry it around camp like that. Of course, if I do that, it's going to pull out. But the way I would do it is they give you a nice little push to release it. So you can grab it with your thumb and you can release it, use your knife, and to put it back in quickly when it's on your pocket or your belt like that, just grab the ridge with your index finger and you can push it in and it's in. So it's easy to use, okay? No problem there. Same thing on the belt. If you're hanging it from the neck, same thing, you can push off, pull it out, and when you go to push it back in, you can put it in, and then you could use your thumb on the back and push down, and it'll secure it in there. So still, it would be a one-handed use sheath, and that's fine. I think I would either get some gun holster, rubber straps, and maybe put it on my belt scout style like that, or use, I don't know if a tech lock would work with that or not. I might try that, but I think I would prefer to wear it on my weak side if I can get a different attachment, something to attach it more firmly to my belt. And that would be my preferred carry if I could attach it there. And you can work that out. And then I could just push it off with the thumb, and then I could just push it in there to reseat it in the sheath like that. So I think we all like to individualize and customize our carrying methods, and I think I would do this with this knife, okay? The same rings true with the blade types. If you're gonna work wood, it's always the Scandi for me. If it's gonna be a pure woodworker, the Scandi, and you saw me making feathers, even though sometimes it looked like the Saber grind was doing fine, the Scandi was just smoother. If I was concentrating and had the right piece of wood with the right corners on it, the Scandi would definitely do much better than the Saber grind. And making notches and boring holes and stuff, the Scandi was just smoother. It's a better woodworker. So if you want a small neck knife or a small EDC carry to mostly work wood, yeah, I mean, always go with the Scandi. If you want an all-arounder, I like the Saber grind, and I just like the style of that blade. It's pretty cool. It's kind of that harpoon style. And yeah, as a general carry knife, I think I would prefer this one, and I would probably carry it around my neck. I'm not a big neck knife guy, but I think for me, I would carry it around my neck if I wanted a smaller knife for camp, okay? It's got the lanyard holes there, very good. I did find that when I was doing harder work, the stippling on the handle gives a great grip, but it did start to irritate, the inside of my palm a little bit with harder use. Not a big deal, but it did do that. So yeah, I think these knives, they're certainly made to be in competition with that little Mora knife. I can't remember what Mora calls that right now, but yeah, definitely in competition with that knife. But yeah, all around, I would definitely recommend these small knives. They're fun to use. Definitely to EDC them or do light type of work. It's not a full-size knife. It's not for full-size heavy camp work or bushcraft work, okay? So keep that in mind. Definitely recommended. I am an Odenwolf affiliate. You can get these knives at the Odenwolf USA website. I'm going to put that in the description below, and I'll put my discount code of CCO10, that's Common Sense Outdoorsman 10. I'll put that in there. If you want to buy them, you can get 10% off on their website. These are about $20 knives, so great deal. Definitely recommended. I enjoyed using these knives. Common Sense Outdoorsman. We'll see you on the next one.